Hello guys, in this video we will look at the observer pattern in JavaScript. We will look at a real-world example that involves processing order shipment and how to implement observer pattern in that context. In object-oriented programming, the observer pattern defines a one-to-many dependency between objects, where one object, the subject or observable, maintains a list of dependents, observers, that are notified of any changes in the subject's state, typically by calling one of their methods. Now let's take a look at the order shipment diagram from the strategy pattern video. We will continue working with the order shipping example, so please check out that video. In this diagram, tracking number notification logic is a part of order shipping logic. However, it may be a good idea to decouple order shipping service and tracking information notification service. Let's take a look at how we can do that. In this diagram, order shipping service notifies tracking information notification service that order has been shipped. There may be some other services that need to be notified that order is shipped, such as client billing service, if it's a dropshipper system, and maybe inventory service. Now let's look at the class diagram of the observer pattern. We have observable interface that represents the subject that is being observed. It maintains a list of dependents, the observers. The subject provides methods to add, remove, or notify observers. Observer interface defines the update method. Abstract shipping service observer class implements this method to respond to changes in the subject's state. In its constructor, it has logic that registers observer with the observable. Shipping service is a concrete subject class that implements the observable. It holds the actual state and triggers notifications to observers when the state changes. Tracking info sender service concrete observer extends shipping server observer and receives the actual notifications. Now let's go ahead and implement this class diagram in the code. But before we do that, if you are finding this video interesting so far, give us a quick thumbs up by hitting the like button so we can create more videos on object-oriented programming patterns in JavaScript. Also, if you would like to get more insights into web development, make sure to subscribe to our channel. In the VS Code, in the src directory of the project, we have observer pattern directory. And first, let's create interfaces.d.ts file, so where we can define observer and observable interfaces, right? Let's go ahead and do interface observable, and we put two methods, attach, detach, and then the third method will be notify. And then again, we'll put a interface that it's called observer, and it will have only one method called update, and it will take an observable. Next, let's also define the types.d.ts file, and we're gonna put type shipment, and it will have tracking number, and this property will be string, and this will be the only property on this type shipment. However, in the real world, we're gonna have a lot more properties here. Next thing that we're going to do is define shipping service class that will implement the observable interface. Right? First, we're going to import order from the strategy pattern, and then we're going to export default class. We'll call it shipping service, and it will implement the observable. It will have private property observers, which will be an array, and we'll also have an order. In the constructor, we will pass an order and assign order. Then we're going to have a method get order. It will return the order. And then we also have a method create shipment, where we will pass the shipment that we defined in the shipment type. And this method will basically add shipment to the order, and then it will call the notify method to notify observers. In real life, of course, the create shipment method will be much more complex, right? It will verify the lines on the order. It will also persist the shipment in the database and update the order. But for our purposes, we'll just keep it pretty simple. So now we're going to implement the three methods on the interface, and we're going to do attach. And this method will attach observer. This next method is detached. It will remove the observer from the array. And finally, we will have the notify method. And this gonna notify observers for each observer. Will call update method on each observer. Next, let's go ahead and create shipping service observer class. This will be an abstract class, and it will implement the observer. It will have a protected shipping service property. So it will have a constructor where we're going to pass the shipping service, and then shipping service observer will attach itself, or rather the classes that are going to extend it, to the shipping service. Next, we're going to have an update method. It will take observable, right? And if observable is shipping service, it will call the doUpdate method, and this method will be abstract on this abstract class, and the classes that will extend shipping service observer will have to implement that method. Finally, let's create files index.ts in observer pattern folder, and in this file we will assemble everything, right? We're going to import order and order source from the strategy pattern, also tracking info sender, and then we're going to have import shipping service observer and shipping service. We're going to create a class tracking info sender service that will extend the shipping service observer that we just wrote, and we'll implement the doUpdate method. We'll take shipping service, and then it will get order from the shipping service. Then it's gonna call the static method getSender on the tracking info sender class, and it will pass the order. Static getSender method is a factory method. It will check which source is the order from, let's say Shopify or BigCommerce, and then it create a specific tracking info sender that will send the tracking information to that specific source. And then we're going to call send tracking method on the tracking info sender. So next, we're going to have export default function run observer pattern. That is just a helper function to run our code. So first, we're going to create an order, and we'll put it as a BigCommerce order. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to create the shipping service, and we will pass the order. The next thing we do, we will instantiate the tracking info sender service, and we put shipping service in its constructor, so it's going to get registered with a shipping service. Now let's go ahead and call create shipment on the shipping service and pass tracking number. Now obviously there will be more data, that somebody's going to enter in the system. And that's it. Now the tracking info sender service is registered with a shipping service. And when the shipment is created, the tracking info sender will notify BigCommerce with a tracking number. Let's go ahead, open the terminal. We'll do yarn build. And after the code is built, let's go ahead and run it. And as expected, we see the sending tracking information to BigCommerce. So we basically decoupled sending tracking information logic from creating a shipping logic. As you can see, the observer pattern promotes loose coupling between objects, as observers are not tightly bound to the subject. Observers can be added or removed without affecting the subject or other observers. This makes the pattern particularly useful in scenarios where changes to one object require updates in other objects, but relationships should remain flexible. I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.